I love it. Terrificon has come and gone, but not as gone as Rocksteady, as you saw in that video. But what's going on, guys? We finally had enough time to recover. We're back. What's up?
Intro of the year.
Right?
I love you guys, but I hate you guys. Just
I didn't do it. I may have recorded it, but I didn't do it.
You took the video.
Yeah, dude, there's so much stuff that I wanted to share. I just won't share. But yeah, man, it was a great time, guys. Terrificon. Guys, first and foremost, it's going to be a short show. We're just going to talk our perspectives, of course. You know, myself, it was the first time going to Terrificon. Paperweight as well. Greg, Rocksteady, you've been there before, but Justin, you had a table this time. You had an exclusive out, so definitely going to go around the horn and get different perspectives. But before we get into it, guys, what's up? How you feeling after this con?
I just got home.
Yeah, dude.
Last night was the first time I slept in a bed by myself.
Yeah. Well, no, you slept with people, as you saw within the video. But yeah, no, I get what you mean. Finally, with nobody, no other man.
Some privacy, finally.
Yeah.
It was wild, man. It was just like you just got to keep going. That's it.
Yeah. Shout out to Justin. Justin actually posted the picture on the Thursday night of what the room looked like, and I was like, who was it? Greg? Was it you, Paperweight, that was commenting on the thing, and you're like, bro, I could smell this picture.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Through the phone, I could smell it.
Yeah. It did.
Yeah, I guess because we were there a night before you guys. It's all a blur. Sorry.
I think it started on Friday. Really, I think that photo. Well, the one photo, yeah, because the Paperweight, you weren't there, and BC and Hyper. I feel like the room didn't smell that bad yet until it pulled up. I swear. I think that's when I think that on Friday is when the time changed.
The biomass doubled though.
Yeah. Once we showed up is when it started to stink, is what you're saying. But yeah, dude, you walked in, it smelled like booze and beef jerky. I don't know what was going on, but
yeah, that sums it up. That nailed it.
Yeah, that was it. But it was a good time, man. Like, honestly, first and foremost, showing up over there, it was impressive. Mohegan Sun is a very impressive place, dude. Like, I knew it was going to be a casino and so whatnot, but like seeing the amount of stuff there was, like the restaurants, there was clubs. Obviously, we didn't do clubs, but there was the what was that cowboy bar? What was it called?
Texas Roadhouse. They have a big arena. They have like basketball games there. They have sports events, comedy shows, the Irish bar. There's like so much to do there.
It's crazy. And the FanDuel, obviously, we watched the UFC at FanDuel. Rocksteady marked out. He was freaking out because he saw a certain celebrity that was there. It was Shane Gillis, right?
Shane Gillis had a show there.
I got the thumbs up, bro. I got the thumbs up from him.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, it's a cool place because it's all in one place and there's nothing else around.
No.
So everybody who's there is staying there.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to stay in your room, you have to go out with the people. So you're forced to hang out with everybody who's there for a show, for a comedy show, whatever. Like last year we were there, it was just like WNBA players walking around. Yeah. This year, like Shane Gillis, and you see the celebrities from the show just around, like, and everybody who we know from like this community, you just saw them everywhere too. You're forced to hang out, and I love it. There's none of that wasting time. Where are you? Where's this person? Mm-hmm. You just kind of wander and you hang out with those people.
Yeah, you're right, man. Dude, there was a point where I was walking in, like in the hallway of the con, and like Michael Rooker's walking around like with nobody. There was like no security, nothing. He's just walking around like a normal person. And I was like, wow, man, like that's pretty impressive. Obviously, if you guys don't know who Michael Rooker is, he's the guy who played Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxy. But yeah, man, it was just cool to see celebrities doing that. Even afterwards, we saw your secret crush playing at a table as well.
Yeah, it was like everybody's just there, right? Like Jeff left us for 20 minutes. We're like, where's Jeff? All of a sudden we got Justin gets these pictures and it's him with Scotty Young and then him with Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Jeff, man. Your wife, I think, nailed it with the smell comment.
Yeah, 100%. My wife is spot on, balls to the wall. And there were like underwear
on the
walls in the corners. I didn't know what was going on, but yeah, overall was a good time. But we'll get into the details, guys. There's also some interesting topics I want to bring up because, like I said, first time on my end. We'll go through some of the stuff, and obviously Greg as well. First time, you having gone, more than once, but Justin, man, the exclusive. You had an exclusive that was out with, Milton on behalf of the Comic-Con podcast. You guys dropped the TMNT #1 exclusive. Dude, sick cover. I have them right here. I don't know. I'll put them up, but tell us about that, man.
Yeah, man. So it's a different thing. Like you guys go and I've gone many years in the past, right? And to set up at a show and not be like it's not a true vendor. Like I'm not bringing tons. There it is.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing like tons of books to sell and like set up my racks and set up long boxes and short boxes. It was just we had the opportunity to do a variant, to do an exclusive. It was a book that we wanted to do. It was, the TMNT. We brought our artists, and I said, you know what? I was like, this is gonna be cool. I was like, we can get 2 tables in Artist Alley. We'll have one for the podcast. So we're promoting the podcast. We can sell the variant, and then we'll have our artist friend V. Ken Marion set up next to us. And then, people just buy it from us. They can have it signed by him, and then buy other stuff from him. Or if they want to buy other stuff from us, like shirts or stickers, whatever the case may be. And yeah, it's a little bit of a different thing. Like I kind of got into a fight with somebody, and I mean, I'm not going to go totally deep into the story, but not someone here, not someone that you guys even know, but I was in business mode like all weekend. Like from the time I woke up to the time I go to bed, like I'm thinking of like what's the next day, like trying to think of like, okay, we want to sell this many variants. Like it's not just like I want to buy stuff. It's I need to be behind the table, whether it's myself, Zach, or myself. Like we're really pushing a thing, and like we're invested in this. It's not just like, hey, I paid for the hotel room and I paid for like whatever lodging and then food. It's like we're also paying for the table and what the investment was for the variant. So it's a big deal. It's a great variant. It looks cool. We've gotten a lot of praise. I appreciate everybody that picked up, that was there. So if you're checking this live or on the rewind, but seriously, the best comment that of the entire weekend was, I think it was either Friday night or Saturday night before the con ended. Zach and I walked over to Jason Aaron, who's the writer of the show, or writer of TMNT. Saturday night. So, before it closed up, we walked over to Jason's booth. We said, we introduced ourselves. We're like, listen, we do a podcast once a week. I do this job. Zach does this job. We had a lot of fun. We, big Turtles fans, gamers, and, we just wanted to gift you a couple copies. So we literally gave him like 5 to 10 copies. And we were like, hey, would you mind just signing some copies for us? And he saw the cover and he's like, I've actually been signing this book a lot at the con. And like that literally made the con for us. Like for Zach and I to hear that, like that just like was such a cool thing for him to say, to actually remember. Cause you got to realize there are other Turtles variants there, and there's other Turtles books that I'm sure he's signing. But for him to actually look at and be like, oh yeah, I have been signing this book. Like that, seriously, like such a heartfelt comment from him.
Yeah, it's huge, dude. And like, the signature thing, we're going to get into that because I do want to talk signatures too. We were talking briefly backstage, but it is awesome to see, Jason Aaron giving you props, saying, dude, yeah, like I've seen this one several times throughout the con. And to me, it sounds like you guys had a successful exclusive launch for your first time. So congrats. You guys crushed it. You guys were working the tables, man. And I was watching you. Obviously, we spent 3 days on the floor hunting, right? We were just going through our stuff. And even as a guy who is so busy at the tables, you still managed to find gold. I'm so jealous of those Pokemons. But anyways, but besides the point, you had the exclusives launch. I was talking with even with Jay, the butcher, after the fact. And was that guy wearing pants? Please tell me.
No, I think Rob just went down with his cat.
He was just carrying some animal out there.
Exposed.
All right. But yeah, I was talking with Jay, the butcher, and like he was even saying, he's like, bro, like I doing live shows and stuff like that. It was draining, right? So it does take a lot. So again, it's a whole different vibe on that aspect, right? You guys are going through so much putting that together. So again, shout out to you. I watched you guys. You were running. You and Zach were taking turns. You would take off. Zach would be holding the fort. Obviously, you didn't trust any of us to hold the fort, and that's understandable.
Look at this way. Like Saturday, real quick. Like Saturday, I got up early so I could get on the floor early so I could try to get some stuff. I'm working the booth the whole day. I immediately got back to the hotel room, right? Like, and we did a Whatnot show. And then as soon as the Whatnot show ended, I was like, all right, let's shower and go to dinner. Like it was just boom, 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 boom. Like there was no stopping. Like it was just constant going, especially on Saturday the most.
Yeah. Shout out to the chat, by the way, guys. I know we're diving right into it because, like I said, there's a lot we want to unpack, and I just want to say hi to the chat, everybody who's here. Appreciate you guys. Newbies here in the chat.
Why is he not on the stream if he's in the chat?
He lied to us and said he's working overtime. I guess. Yeah. Plus, he's not doing cons till 2026 apparently. So, but yeah,
hey, I got to quickly shout out Wesley. He saved my ass driving me all the way to my in-laws after my flight got canceled.
Yeah, yo, let's get into that just very quickly, man. If you guys didn't know this, like we left the con on Sunday night, Sunday afternoon, and like heading back to Canada, flights were just not happening. Like you got pushed like from Sunday to what, Wednesday?
Which Greg are you asking?
Yeah, I went till Tuesday. So basically we were driving to the airport, and it's like it's supposed to be a 2.5 hour drive, right? That's kind of what it was saying on our GPS. And then we're driving, and our kilometers are going down, but now it's saying like 3 hours, 3.5 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours just to get to the airport. And we're lucky we left early because we said, hey, if we have extra time, we'll spend it in New York as opposed to here. Let's just play it safe. But now we're cutting it close, right? Then there was severe weather advisories, like alerts going off on our phones saying head to high ground. Our GPS actually took us off the highway through like a subdivision up on a hill.
Crazy.
Like during that time. It was pretty crazy. But anyways, yeah, we got there, and just before I get to the airport, it's like your flight's canceled. Waited 30 minutes. All of a sudden they're like, yeah, you're flying out Tuesday. Jesus. So I was supposed to be home Sunday night, and I just got home today.
Yeah, so you get home today, imagine. So from Sunday to Wednesday, that's wild. And Greg, you ended up having to...
Yo, dude, if me, you, and Newbie weren't up till like 3:30 in the morning just talking life, I wouldn't have gotten... Like, I had my Uber booked to pick me up 7 a.m. from the hotel. Yeah. And then I get the email about it being delayed, and then I get the email about it being canceled. But I'm like, I can't... They don't give me another option for a flight. So I'm like, I'm just going to cancel this thing like all the way. Because they were automatically, I'm hoping, issuing a refund or a credit, whatever. And I'm like, and I'll just figure it out. Like, I mean, it won't be the first time. And then, yeah, I mean, it was very on brand of being at a comic convention and hearing all these stories. But I got to tell you, if you guys didn't hear about, there was a kid that met up with Wesley. His name was Terry, young kid.
Oh, yeah.
So did you hear the story about him coming from North Carolina?
Bro, the guy met Keanu Reeves. I heard that much.
Yeah, bro, forget that. So listen to this. Okay, so he's flying from North Carolina, which is 2.5 hours. And it was on the news. 1 hour into the flight, an engine explodes.
Ooh.
Okay, an engine exploded in the air. They had to make an emergency landing. First time this kid's on a plane, and he's telling me this story. Nonchalant as shit, and I'm already sweating in my shoes thinking about this. I'm reading the article. It's like, people were scrambling for their phones to text family, and I'm looking at this kid, and he's just like,
he was cool and collected the entire weekend.
Jeez,
yeah,
like,
dude, Terry's good.
I'm like, flight's canceled. Ozzy and Rocksteady are trapped in a stairwell. Terry's planes are exploding. I'm like, this is a comic convention if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, dude. That's crazy. I didn't know that he was on that plane. I remember you telling me about it.
I didn't hear that.
I didn't know he was on the plane. That
was a Thursday or whatever. And then apparently Sunday, another American Airlines flight needed to make a similar landing, like emergency landing. I don't know, man. It was just crazy. But yeah, I got in. Thank God to Wesley. Like, big shout out to him. He drove me. I didn't make him bring me all the way home. I just crashed to my in-laws, which is like 35 minutes south of where I live, just to save him some time. But just
Wes is a legend.
Yeah, dude, for real.
Yeah.
Like, just having very little sleep all those days, and then because then as soon as I came back, it was like work, back to training, and then like I teach a wrestling course as well. So then it was like I just haven't gotten a full night's sleep yet. That's why in my mind I'm like, as much as I can't wait to do this, I'm like, I hope it doesn't last till midnight.
No, it won't. It won't. Don't worry. Dude, I'm figuring at most an hour, but that's why we're gonna jump back into some of the conversations now.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, even prior to going to the con, I was saying it over on Covrprice. I was saying it on my show on Sundays, and I'm like, guys, you know, this is my first con going outside of Canada. In fact, it's the first show outside of Quebec. I've never been outside of my own province going to a con. So yeah, very, very rookie of me, I guess you could say. But I gotta say it was impressive. Now, Montreal Comic Con, by no means am I knocking Montreal Comic Con, but immediately the vibe is totally different, right? You get there, man. First and foremost, it was jammed. Like, there was a lot of people at this one. Dude, Justin, you've been before Rocksteady. Would you say this was bigger than most?
So I think, yeah, it was definitely, obviously being a vendor and getting in early, like I don't really get to see the lines. You know, I saw the lines in the morning for Keanu on Friday, but I think, and I don't know if it was Friday's lineup or even Saturday's lineup, when they were saying that it was like wrapped up. It was wrapped all the way where normally I've seen it wrapped, and then it wrapped outside to like not the parking garage, but like valet, and that's crazy. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
that
know if
was
that was
wild.
for Keon. What day was that?
That
Saturday.
was the Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, Saturday was huge.
Usually, it's lined up to like that hallway and then maybe to the elevator.
Yeah.
But it just like it was probably twice as long. But shout out to those people and how quickly they moved the line.
Yeah,
for we real. Got in line and we're like, we're going to be here for 3-4 hours, and like 15 minutes, like you're just walking the entire time.
Yep.
They're on
they
it.
do a
they
good
check
job.
Everybody, like they do their due diligence too.
Yeah,
so,
definitely good with that. I know that you're pretty much in and out.
So
quick.
I will say, like, again, this was also my first time, not to cut anybody off, but so Saturday for sure was obviously the busiest day, and that's when everybody goes. Because even coincidentally, the Uber driver that drove me there was a comic fan who was going to the expo as well on Saturday, or sorry, to the con on Saturday. But for real, like, I didn't feel like Friday was that bit. Like, I don't know, is that a normal Friday? Like, Friday didn't seem that busy to me. Saturday
was quiet, man. I'm gonna be honest. Friday was relatively quiet, but the Saturday was like so jammed. It was insane. Friday I was capable of digging through bins without,
bumping
feeling like somebody's bumping next to me, although there was always two guys that just never left me alone while I was going through books. Like, oh bro, give me that Batman. I love Batman. But yeah, man, so Batman 89, yeah, put it up, you're welcome. But anyways, but yeah, man, so we were a little more free on Friday. Then I felt like Saturday it was like, it was elbows to elbows, gunning through stuff, boxes being sold very quickly, man. And even at that, come Sunday, yeah, of course, Batman. What is this, bro? What is that, your piggy bank? But anyways, come Sunday, one of the guys that you guys recommended we all hit up sold his entire booth to another vendor, and that's something I never saw happen. Like, dude, Hyper, bless his soul, Hyper bought the pass off of you, and what ends up happening is he gets a little early access, and by going earlier, he happened to get to that vendor right before the transaction took place. So he honored the prices before the transaction took place. So Hyper, being Hyper, digging for like 18 hours, was going through some books.
Yeah, and I was there when this was all going down.
Yeah, man. So he got those deals on those books, but everybody else got shafted. It was like, nah, this is $10 a book, no more $5 or 2 for $5, whatever. So it was crazy. I've never seen that happen at a con, not like that, right?
Yeah, I didn't see the floor on Sunday, so I can't comment.
Oh, yeah. So typically that booth is either sold by Saturday or Sunday the latest. Every year. So,
wow.
But yeah, man, speaking booths, a question came up by Steph's Comics. Shout out to Steph. Steph is the one who bought those 5 comics, Justin, just so you're aware.
Thank you, Steph.
Yeah, man. But speaking booths, I want to bring up his question. Sorry, I put it back down. But what's the difference between a con in the States and a con in Montreal? First and foremost, I'm going to just address it right away. The con Terrificon itself felt at least 3 times the size. There was so much going on. Montreal Comic Con is very scattered. You know what I mean? You have halls on different floors, things taking place. But Terrificon, I think what really makes it that much more awesome is the hangout. It's really the hangs, meeting everybody within the comic community. Dude, we all met. We've been talking for fucking years, and we met for the first time, right? That's ridiculous.
Okay, let me jump in quick. Let me jump in. So that before, because that's a good question he had. So since I know Rock City does a lot of shows as well, right? More so with toys. So I was doing quite a few comic wise. It seemed that they were a little bit more realistic with pricing compared to what I've seen in Canada. There's often times where I'm at shows and the books are still like COVID prices. Very common, and it's no knock to however people want to price things. But I didn't see that as much here. But I will say, and like we kind of chatted about it. It was definitely dope. But I think we have to also understand, outside of like the fan expos, like the SDCC, all those like bigger ones, Terrificon feels like one of the bigger ones, maybe on that second tier of like for pure like enthusiasts and hobbyists. It doesn't seem like they're focusing on, even though they have incredible guests, it wasn't about like the cause, even though there was lots of cosplay, there wasn't a ton of like anime cosplay stuff. And let's have all these mainstream people that know nothing about anything going on.
Yep.
It just felt very genuine. There were times where I'm like, oh, I expected like a bit more from the con itself. But like you said, like the hang makes it. And I mean, I think that's super dope. And that's one thing I wanted to bring up too. It's like when we've talked, like you said, for, you know, a year or two now, and it was cool. Like when I linked with everybody, it felt like I've already met you guys before, at least for me anyway. Like I didn't, you know, sometimes there's that awkward thing, except you, like you're a clown, BC.
The roasting was ongoing.
But I don't know how you manage to paint pants on every day.
Oh, dude, it's so easy.
Your wife lets you wear painted pants every day, like that.
Yeah, man. I tuck it into my socks and I just start painting. But but the question that Steph brought up, I'm happy you mentioned some of the points. Like example, one of them being the pricing on books. Dude, the deals were to be had at this con. Yeah. Obviously, you got to hunt a little better. Shout out to Rocksteady, who I think blew the budget in a span of 4 minutes of being at the con. You know, you went crazy on original art. Even the original art.
Prices.
Yeah, original art.
I think the big thing there is there's no shitty vendors. Like, there's no mystery boxes. There's no pick a bag. You get like a Hello Kitty bag or a Bleach bag, like different anime characters. There was, a sword booth, but there wasn't 30 sword booths. There was, I go to these expos in Canada. I've been to Montreal, Toronto, Edmonton, and it's maybe 13 comic book vendors. And the rest are selling crap I don't want. This was, it felt curated almost. And the people that were spending money were buying legit comics and collectibles. They weren't there to buy even like some of the Marvel Legends and stuff like that, right? It's just like people know they can get them. They're there to dig. They're there to fill their runs. The other big thing about the show is that the comic artists overshadow the celebrity guests in most cases, which really tells the tale of your clientele. And I think that was super important. But as far as original art goes, that's my budget right away.
Dude, you found deals on the original art.
I haven't shown anybody yet. I could show.
We will show,
Okay.
but you weren't the only one who got original art. No, the guy woke up from his rocking chair. Right here, you have Hyper Combo Comics also.
What's up, guys?
What's up, bro?
Nothing much. Sorry I'm late. I heard about BC's painted pants, so I figured I'll stay backstage for that story. I didn't want to be live for that.
I love it, man. But yeah, man, dude, hype. Thank you for obviously hopping on, man. It was a blast, dude. You were my co-pilot headed there. We did make the mandatory stop to Popeyes as well, so I know you were satisfied.
Dude, when we were driving back, so Popeyes was on the opposite side. Even Wesley's like, you know, Hyper probably made BC whip around the highway.
We did actually. Well, it was slightly a bit of a detour, and we did actually have to run across the rain to get to our car. So, shout out to BC for that.
Nigel. Nigel's in the house, man. Another guy who was at Terrificon, and we didn't even get to see, man. There was quite a few people that it was so jammed. There was so much going on, right? We didn't get to see everybody, but there was a lot of good interactions. Here's one that was one of my favorite interactions. It was with 3 men in the basement. Now I'll get into this one, guys. We get to the con on the Friday morning, and Otto's there doing his thing, right? He's pumped, he's jacked. And not for anything, Otto's a hype man. Like for the con, he's a hype man.
His energy doesn't stop.
Yeah, so he sees us, the boys, and there's obviously there was Newbie, there was Hyper. I forget who else was there. I think Wesley was there. You were there, and he's saying hi to everybody. And then he looks at me and he's like, "Who are you again?" And I'm like, "Oh fuck." So that's where I stand within YouTube, I guess.
No, because the thing is, what was funny is, it was your face expression when he asked you, "Who are you?" That's what actually made it even more priceless, because
but then after I'm like, dude, it's BC Black Crown, and he's like, "Oh yeah, of course I know Black Crown," and he's like, "I love your content," and I'm like, he's such a nice guy.
Dude, you're the guy with the painted pants.
That's it. But man, it was fun seeing everybody, and then obviously the big photo at the end, which unfortunately, Justin, I noticed you weren't in there with Zach because you guys were obviously busy with the table and stuff. But But yeah, man, it was great. Now back to the actual vendors. Like I was saying, Hyper, you actually did a lot of digging. You found some nice books. I think we all made out pretty well, man, with books. Like we got out of there with some good bangers. I was coming out with a lot of books that, like, dude, I'll be transparent with everybody. I was pulling up books and posting them for sale because it was immediate, easy flips, right? And they were going fast because they were so cheap. I think we got Howard the Duck 1 literally in every cover A, the 1 in 10, the 1 in 20, the 1 in 25. We were scooping those up for dirt cheap, man. And he had a ton of copies, dude.
Mm-hmm. At least 20 when we got there. But like just to go back, I think Rock City had the perfect word for it, like the way it was curated. I know we're kind of jumping around, but the way the event is curated, like that's a testament to the organizers, which is great. But yeah, I mean, but also what you guys kind of touched on before about how busy Justin and Zach were at times. That's the one other observation I made, just to kind of go into like a different territory. It's like, I also hope, even though I know this was Justin and Zach's first table and they've been there before, but when I saw like the guys like Very Gary and like the Defects and all those guys like kind of running around, a part of me was like, I hope they're still having fun doing it, you know? Like it's totally different, like the way we were doing things. Like, and I know Justin and Zach, it was a little bit more serious, but we still like saw Justin dip shit at the end of the table, digging through shit with his glasses on, right? Like he was still kind of doing his thing, right? Didn't seem overly stressed, but like those guys at times look stressed. So it's like, I just hope they're having fun as well, still doing it, you know?
Yeah, we're gonna have to test those glasses, bro. They must see something we don't see because he managed to make out like a bandit with those Pokemon books. Yeah, there, there you go. Fuck.
If anybody wants a first appearance of Ray, I got about 20 copies that are probably 9.8.
That is not normal. You have one too many. One too many.
One too many.
Yeah, but yeah, man. So in terms of shopping, I would say, you know, the difference between Montreal and then you go to Terrificon. Terrificon is very comic based. It feels like a comic con. Montreal, I'm seeing so many Funkos, so much manga, a lot of weapons for some reason. I don't know what's going on. But you have like those Zelda shields, you know, the Link shield. You have like the swords, the Hyrule swords. There's a lot of that going on in Montreal, and I feel like the vendors overpriced here. Hyper, I think you could vouch for that too, because like a lot of the vendors, man, they're coming for your jugular.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, I always believe at every con you could always find good deals. You just have to dig. Some cons you have to dig harder than others. This one, I found it wasn't as much effort as like the cons I would go to in Canada. Like, it just seemed like I told a couple of guys Friday, it just seemed a bit overwhelming because I'm used to a smaller scale con in general. So when I walked into the show floor, to the guys that already been to Terrificon a few years, you guys probably are used to it. But to me, it was like, oh shit, okay, now I can, like, there's no way in hell I was gonna be able to dig in like one day, like, you know, even 3 days sometimes seems a bit daunting. But I kind of had to put a cap on how much digging I can do.
Yeah, shout out to Boston Chris, who I finally got to meet in person as well, man. It was a pleasure hanging with you. But back to what you were talking about with the vendors, like, I think my favorite interaction was the slab I bought. It was the ASM 61. So I literally walk up to the booth and I pull this up, right? And the guy had it priced at 200. I didn't even have to say a word. You could tell people were ready to wheel and deal. You know what I mean? The vendors were ready to push books. I literally walk up to the guy. I see $200. He's like, "You serious about this?" He goes, "I'll do 150." Bro, I didn't even have to negotiate. I didn't even say a word. The guy dropped $50. I was like, what the hell? But yeah, man, just totally different experience. Totally different. And I really, on the comic side, enjoyed it. Now, you guys picked up original art as well. Rocksteady did some damage, and Newbie as well with other things. Newbie picked up toys, dude.
Yeah. That one toy vendor, I know when Rock City went by, because I told him right away, because he hadn't seen it just yet. And I know he knows that world very well. And the stuff at the back, I guess I wasn't, you know, as familiar with in terms of how he was pricing things, but he had stuff in like boxes where, dude, like they were literally saying, take it all. Like,
$5 each, whatever. Just get rid of it.
Yeah, just get rid of it. Like free stuff. And I mean, to go back to that comment that Steph said, it might also have to do with the fact that in Canada, like we get nailed here anytime we order something. If it's eBay, we got extra taxes, fees, duties, like the conversion. Whereas there, they might not be, you know, into things as much as we are. I'm not trying to justify ridiculous pricing, but that could be a reason why in Canada at these cons, these guys are just so far in, and that they're pricing things unrealistically. I don't know, but yeah,
it's a supply and demand thing, right? If you have that much competition there, you have to differentiate yourself to move the book somehow. If you're the one overpriced person, you're going to drop $1,000-$2,000 on a booth and not sell anything. That's not good for business, right? If you're only 13 vendors at one of these fan expos, then you can keep your prices high because you're only one of 13 options. But when you're one of 300 options, it's a different story. So it's just the demand's there, but there was a lot of supply. And they had a lot of books.
And the tables, I think, at Fan Expo are like thousands. Like, you know, like, I don't know what they are at Terrificon, but I'm assuming they're not like $3,000 for a table.
No, I don't know the cost, but just to tie back to what Rocksteady said about the supply and demand, like that ASM 61, the second I saw it at that booth, we went looking to see what other ones were available in comparison and asked Paperweight, dude, we came across maybe 5-6 other copies within the circle.
It's crazy. Shout out to you guys for putting me on that one, because as my daughter, you know, loves Gwen Stacy. So, and I wasn't aware of that book. And then it was almost like so many people had it and I'd never seen it before, but we ended up finding one that was actually a grade bump higher for the same price, but it was the cream pages. And you were a little bit concerned about the cream pages, if you were going to crack it, how it was going to be. But I think you made the right decision. And like, that's a sick book. I had no idea about that book. It's something now I'm going to keep my eye on, because I think it's something that people might have and not know what they had. Because most vendors we asked, they were like, what was the significance of that again? Like, they didn't even remember.
Yeah.
So wait, it's a first Gwen cover?
Yeah, it's the first cover of Gwen. She's like tied up at the bottom. But not in
I was gonna say, because what is it, 31? I think it's 31 or 29 is her.
Yeah, it's
the red one.
Yeah.
That's her first appearance. Right?
It's that way, 31. But yeah, man, it was great. I mean, you know, with the supply and demand, like you were saying, there was a lot of opportunity to pick up some good books. But now switching gears and going to the signatures, right? I was talking with Justin backstage, and Justin obviously dive into this a little more. But one thing I noticed was the lineups for the signatures with comic artists or writers was way bigger than even some of the celebrities that were there. I would say that, you know, Charlie Cox obviously having probably the biggest line. Kobe Smulders, there was like nobody. Like, dude, even like I said, Yondu, like there was not many people lining up for that. But you go to Jason Aaron, you go to Chris Claremont, you go to Scotty Young, you were waiting, man. And it was kind of I don't want to say a turnoff. Thankfully, you know, managed to slip in a book or two here and there, but by no means was I interested in lining up, because I felt like it was going to take up my whole con just on signatures.
Yeah, it's definitely, well, again, it's a comic convention. It's not a celebrity convention, right? So when you're thinking about that, you know, this, for 4 of you guys on the panel, or 3 of you guys on the panel, is your first time there, right? And if Claremont doesn't come to, you know, Canada, or Jason Aaron or the Simonsons, like, this is your only opportunity to get this person. Like, of course, you're going to make the most of it. You're going to wait in this line. You know, someone like, for me, like, just on the flip side, like New York Comic Con, J. Scott Campbell, like that's the only place he ever goes other than like San Diego. So like, there's times where I'm waiting 2 hours just to meet J. Scott Campbell for him to sign something. So it is pretty crazy, especially like artists, writers, whoever it is. Like, sometimes you're like, there's no line. And then there's times where it's just like winding back and forth, like, you know, in their aisle or wherever they're at. And you have to just wait. And, but there is that highs and the lows. Like, no joke. It's so crazy. Sunday, when I was done, right at like 5 o'clock, the show's done and people are breaking stuff down. I swear to God, I should have took a picture. Chris Claremont was still at his table, just signing and like talking to people.
Yeah,
it was absolutely cool. He was literally the last person to probably, like, last artist or writer to leave Terrificon. Like, just sitting where he was all day long.
What a wonderful guy, because that's something he was doing, is not just signing. He was having full-blown conversations with every single person who even spent $1 to make sure, you know, they had a full experience with him. That was awesome. Another guy that did the same was Eric Larson. I was walking by Larson's booth.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, and like, he did not charge anybody much. Like, he had his little basket for donations, right? And he was just making people donate, and like people were asking for full-blown sketches, and he was doing some crazy stuff, man. Like some art he drew, I was like, my god, that's the best Spider-Man I've ever seen you draw.
Joey
Like,
Spider-Man.
yeah, dude,
Yeah.
incredible.
Full page, like not a small page. Like what was that? Like 16 by 20?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, it was massive, and I just remember being there, and I'm like, holy cow, man! Like he happily doing this. One guy I was impressed that had no line each
Jim
time I
Starlin?
passed. So no, it was David Mack, dude. David Mack didn't have much going on there.
It was such a good lineup. Like some creators that would say be here, it would be a lineup for it. There, like people are just walking past and they're just like, hey, they have all the time in the world for you. And these are like pretty big creators.
Yeah.
Like you said, David Mack or whatever, right?
Well,
Like,
even Adam Hughes. Adam
Yeah,
Hughes,
Adam
I think
Hughes
it
too,
didn't
man.
take me that
Yeah.
long to actually get a signature from him. I think only 2 people were in front of me when I waited in line.
his
And-
signature only takes half as long though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's quick. But like, and that's what's good about certain people is they'll do like especially like Adam, he'll do an hour and a half of signing, and then he has a separate line for people that want to get head sketches. So it's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
some people who are, hey, can I have this signed and can you remark this? Or I'm waiting for I'm waiting for a sketch or something. Like Adam does it pretty well. Like, and you just got to get lucked out for just like waiting online for the sketches.
One
But
thing that threw
some-
me off though was his. I had no idea he had a British accent. So when I said, "Hey, Adam, love your work," he said, "Oh, thank you very much." What the fuck? It's like,
Yeah.
where did this Mary Poppins shit come from?
I
Yeah.
think also like the writers and artists are like have better lineups, even though like you guys said it is a comic convention, but some of these celebrities that are nowhere to be found on TV or anywhere, they're asking like insane money. You got this Claremont asking what, $10-15?
Yeah, it was
For
15
my
bucks.
donation, like Scotty Sigs were $10.
Yeah,
Dude, the prices were so cheap,
I think-
and I think that's probably another thing that you need to factor, especially with JSA right now, right? Like CGC, there was also some witnesses for CGC as well on site. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't see them doing too much on my end, but the lines for the signatures were up there. And now with JSA and the prices being significantly cheap, in my opinion, like Adam Hughes was like $5 US.
$5.
Yeah.
You had Begley doing it at 10. Majority were doing it at 10. David Mack was at 10. A lot of people were at 10. I think the most expensive obviously was Jim Lee at around 50-60 US per signature. He had a huge lineup, by the way. Starlin, I'm happy somebody brought it up. He actually pissed me off. I'm gonna be honest with you. I left there pissed off, guys.
Why?
You were
Why
angry.
did Starlin piss you off?
Legit.
Yeah, what happened?
What do you mean?
Yeah, dude.
I don't know.
You guys heard me bitching about it for the longest time, but then
No.
Ozzy
I
gave
just
me.
heard on Wednesday something was supposed to go down revolving, Jim Starlin. I don't know.
Yeah, we were supposed to meet in the parking lot, but he never showed up. But no, Starlin, I love Starlin, man, and that's kind of what threw me off is I didn't expect him to do such a thing, but I have obviously the first appearance of Thanos behind me, signed by Starlin, and I wanted a book to pair it with. And the book I chose was Thanos Quest #1. And on the cover, Thanos is looking up, right? And then right above, it says Thanos Quest. And Jim Starlin decides that he wants to give me what seems to be his hilarious Comic-Con joke. It wasn't funny at all. But anyways, he's there and he's like, hey, you want to hear my one and only Comic-Con joke? I'm like, sure, go ahead. And he's like, how do I get Thanos to look up to me? I'm like, I don't know. He signed right above Thanos' face, like right into his face. It ruined the cover. Like I wanted him to sign at the bottom, and I just look at him. I'm like, thanks. Like I don't even know what to say right now. I was
Good
so
one.
I don't
Yeah.
know which face expression would have been priceless: the Otto not knowing you, or Starlin
that one.
doing the signature. Which
yeah.
God, you
But-
just had a bad show, bro.
Yeah, I mean, your
Yeah.
Scotty Young looked great too.
But so this
Yeah.
is how Ozzy gave me comfort. Is he showed me a video from last year, and it was Swagglehaz, and Swagglehaz, same book. He did the same joke to Swag, and he signed the exact same way. And apparently, Swag felt the exact same way I did. He's like, "Well, whatever that was, I don't know what to say."
Wait.
this is like the Starlin Me Too movement, or other people are going to start speaking out about these signatures that went wrong with Starlin
Dude.
after this mishap.
Yeah, it was a very interesting experience, man. I'm still gonna slap the book, you know what I mean? Like I'm still happy to have it, but it's just now I'm gonna look at that and be like, damn you, Starlin. Like you had a perfect signature space at the bottom, but so be it.
Never meet
But,
your heroes.
I wonder how much like the witnessing went down compared to last year with that JSA announcement, because last year it seemed like there were a lot of people pushing like, oh, like come witness, like people were running around everywhere. And it seemed like the SIGs were just as busy this year, but the witnesses weren't. So I don't know if that's like an economy thing, that's a JSA thing, or that's just comic fans just wanting the signatures, but it was super interesting to see.
Yeah.
You know what it could be too, and I could be wrong. But maybe BC, saying like he didn't see a lot of like the CGC thing. Maybe you didn't see a lot of the representation. But when I was going to like random booths, I heard like people saying like we could witness it. Like they were witnesses as well. They might just be vendors with like not a CGC logo, but they have the ability to witness. So that could have been something. But yeah, man, I don't know.
But I did see CGC presence, right? There was a lot of CGC presence. Yeah. CBCS was there as well, but I noticed
standing around.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, Justin, is like I saw them bringing their own books, right? Now, I don't know if those are people who submitted the books to them to go get signed or whatever it was. But I noticed that they were doing a lot of that. They were standing lines, getting stacks signed, right? And most most artists or writers had a cap going at the amount of books you could submit, right? Some people had 5, some people had 10, whatever it was. But I noticed they were doing mostly that. I didn't see so many people witnessing signatures and standing next to Bagley, standing next to whoever. I didn't see that. I saw mostly people like you and myself just showing up, getting books signed, putting it in their bags, their box, whatever it was, and that was it.
It's kind of weird. Like, I mean, I've seen these CGC. It's not just CGC. I mean, sometimes I think like other vendors have their own CGC certified witnesses. It's kind of always awkward when they have to bring a witness in line and the guy's just awkwardly just standing there while the guy that's getting signed is just waiting in line. So you're just kind of, as a witness, you just have to just wait in line with that guy.
Just gotta hover.
Sorry?
Just have to hover there.
Yeah, exactly. But me and Rocksteady actually had the misfortune. You talked about people having a cap on how many books you can bring. We had the misfortune on the Scotty Young line. The dude right in front of us literally had about a short box of Scotty Young books.
Yeah.
To get
so
signed.
I was upset at first, but then I started to see what books he was getting signed, and they were all different. I was expecting like 50 of those to all be the same for it to be a dealer. But I think that was honestly a collector in front of us.
Yeah.
Oh no! I'm not knocking his books. It's just that I'm just saying that we just had the bad luck of actually having to stand right behind the guy. So.
And also, it's interesting because there were people, with stacks and short boxes of books, and they were like saying, "Hey, if you have more than 200, here's a different time slot." So there were people getting 200 books signed at a time by Scotty.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine how many books he signed that.
Well,
10,000? Like,
no, I know. Yeah, easily. I know Scotty had a cap as well. I think the maximum was like 40 or whatever, but the line was ridiculous. And kind of what you were saying, right? The guy with the box of books and so forth. I remember on the first day, which was the Friday, I was seeing people lining up for Scotty Young. There was already maybe 20 people before the doors just opened. There was 20
we
people.
went straight there.
Yeah, and a guy pulled out a short box of books, and he's like filtering them, what he's going through. I'm like, fuck, I don't even want to do signatures this weekend. And I'll be honest with you, I hid from them as much as possible. If I saw an opening, I was like, whoop, I'm going to jump in. But otherwise, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah, that's usually how it is sometimes. Like, I'm at New York Comic Con, and I'll have the comic portfolio of books I need to get signed. And sometimes you get it on a low, right? It's just everybody all of a sudden leaves, and that vendor or artist or writer is just like, oh, there's nobody there, and that's when you can pop in. And even later and super late in the day, sometimes if they haven't left yet, that's when you can really pop in too, because they have their signing times. People just try to get it first and foremost.
Yeah,
sometimes you just wait it out, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
especially if it's 2-3 day show.
Yeah, shout out to Armin, who's here, Gear Up to 60. Now here, perfect example. He just sent 28 books to CGC private signing at 165 Canadian a pop for Scotty Young. So, I mean, in this scenario, yes, it makes perfect sense, right? You walk up to Scotty Young, you're paying $10 and that's it, right? Then Justin, refresh my memory. If you want to send to JSA right now from CGC Direct, you're paying what? Maybe $40, $50?
I don't know what the JSA is, but signature series is 50. So, you're into it for, you're into it for like 50 plus Scotty's fee plus return shipping and taxes and all that. So maybe you're into it for like 80 for just for one book. And I don't know what the conversion is to Canadian to US on that,
10,000.
but that's just crazy. Like $165 Canadian for 28 books. I mean, you'd be better off actually coming to Terrificon and getting all those books signed.
Now, hold on. I do want to specify that Gear Up also is a presser, a cleaner, and submits for people. So maybe that was just a group send-in. But yeah, JSA CGC combo for us here in Canada is 77 Canadian, just to give you an idea. So those books I got signed, that's what I'm looking at, right? I'm looking at 77 Canadian per book. Factor in the $10 US, we'll call it $13 and whatever change. We'll call it at 14. I'm in it at $91 as opposed to $165, right?
Plus, you get to meet the artist.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's the big thing, right?
Yeah.
I will say this though. And we did talk about how the artists relatively had cheap signature fees, but it does rack up over the course of the weekend. Like I was taking inventory of all the books that I got signed between different artists. It was a couple of bills that I paid just on signatures this weekend.
Yeah.
When I went through Scotty, and then they're like, "Yeah, that's like $110," and you're like, "Oh yeah." It just adds up quick, right? And then our conversion and all that, you just forget about it. But you're in the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you end up spending a lot at Scotty's booth. Whatever, it happens.
Yeah, it also helped that they were at least from my experience, none of them were dicks. They were all pretty personable, and they actually, even the guys that had the long lines, like the Claremonts. I didn't get a chance to meet Simonson. His line was always capped when I went. Maybe next year, but yeah, even the guys that had the long lines, they still took time to kind of conversate with the people that were there. So it made the interaction even a bit more worth it. Not just getting just a signature, but showing appreciation and them being appreciative of the fact that we're supporting the work.
Yeah.
Well, what was interesting, even later on, hanging around at this con, it doesn't feel like the artists are up on a pedestal or
no, at all. At all.
They're like one of us. They're just like us. They're nerds like us who like comic books like us. They want to see what we picked up. They're just as nerdy as us, just more talented. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys know. So I don't know if you guys know the artist Ryan Kincaid.
Of course. Yeah. Kincaid was there doing signatures as well.
Dude, he walked up to our booth and we were just talking, and we literally, so he lives in Kansas City. Zach and him were going back and forth about Kansas City for 15 minutes. And and I said to him, I was like, "Oh, my buddy Cody, he lives in Kansas City." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I know Cody really well." And he's like, "Oh," and then he saw my name because I had, my PayPal and everything. And he saw my name, obviously Nemesis Prime, and he knew exactly who I was. He's like, "Oh yeah, I know who you are. I follow you." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome, man. You see, you
had the
bad girl moment right there.
Yeah, dude. And they're just walking by, they're checking out other artists' tables and stuff like that. So, like you said, Rocksteady, they're just hanging around.
Yeah. Shout out to Chimo for who just swung by, man, and I appreciate you subscribing as well. But yeah, man, back to the artists, dude. They were all ready to chill. You know what I mean? They're the big nerds like us, and that was cool to see. And they were very friendly. I didn't come across one person that was, maybe bitter or cold or whatever, strange, except for that signature joke that was just horrendous. But I mean, everything was a good vibe from front to back. And even John Jiang, right? I walked up to John Jiang's table with Cliff, who's here in the chat. And Cliff purchased some books and everything. Jiang hanging out. We were talking, who we are on social media, and he was pumped as well to meet, us and have a conversation with us. We were going back and forth. We did selfies. We took a group shot. It was cool, man. You know what I mean? The vibe front to back was just top notch. So
no drama either.
Exactly.
It was peace and love. It was the opposite of drama this weekend. This was a peace, love,
it always is,
kumbaya, hippie weekend for sure.
Yeah, there was a lot of peace and love this weekend, man. But it was nice to see that. Now, it's funny you mentioned the peace and love because some people were working booths, like I was saying, also selling, right? People had their whatnot sales going, eBay, whatever it was, I don't know. But you had a variety of everything happening at once. So I think, Steph, that one question you asked is actually all the topics we wanted to discuss tonight. To give you an idea of the difference, I gotta say, man, the con was a great time. But besides the con, you baboons are the first. It was the first time I got to meet all of you, bro, and it was amazing. Yo, Rocksteady, I think, Hyper. We've seen each other many times. We've collaborated many times. We hang out pretty often. Rocksteady, we were summoned into that newbieverse and managed to escape and come back to hanging out. Justin, we've done streams, we've done so much. We literally talk daily, man. And we finally got to meet. And then Paperweight, bro, I gotta say, welcome. Man, yeah, like the bonding that took place this weekend was absolutely unexpected, bro. The ribs that were going back and forth, roasting everybody was just amazing. Everybody roasting one another, Hyper falling asleep outside. Everything was amazing.
But dude, you know what's trippy? Remember how I said about like how it didn't feel like weird to me? I didn't even realize. I thought you had already met everybody. Like I didn't even know.
No,
I just thought you knew Hyper. See, that's what I'm saying. Like everything was so like everyone seemed so chill and cool, Like it's like we all been knowing each other.
Yeah, and I think
we've been following each other. Like you all have personal conversations. Like even like when Newbie came, like obviously it's probably like the third time I've met him, but we have personal conversations and shit. Even Zach this weekend was only the 1, 2, 3, 4th time I've met him in person, and we've been doing the podcast for 4.5 years, and I've known him prior to that, right?
Like, like I stayed up late with Zach one night, and literally we just like talked the whole night, like just walked around and chilled, and it's just like you feel like you've known these people and then they just live down the street, but they live across the country,
Yeah, Guy Forge, bro. I was devastated to not meet you this weekend, but I will say one thing. I was shocked, guys. I walked up to the bar with Ozzy, and I told Ozzy, because Ozzy wanted to buy me a drink. I said, Ozzy, fuck it, stop, bro. Let me buy shots for everybody. So I get to the bar, and I'm like, we want a round of shots. They're like, we don't do shots here. I was like, what? I was taken back by that. They don't do shots at that place.
We had shots somewhere.
The Irish place we had shots.
UFC.
Oh, maybe not there.
Maybe at the sports book.
Hyper, you're on mute, bro. So I don't hear anything you say.
You're talking about the bar with that sketchy TV that we couldn't even watch.
That's odd.
Yeah.
We ended up watching the fights on my phone because the TV was glitching out, but every TV, like every other one there, worked perfect.
Hey, hold on, but hey, you can lock up BC.
There you go. See, and Justin posted that, and I saw a lot of people like, "What the fuck am I watching right now?"
Bro, that reel's getting some. That's getting some hits.
Yeah, there you go. But the lockup, there's a specific way you got to lock up in wrestling. Okay, so when you go for the tie up, there's a specific.
It's collar and elbow, dude. Like I teach Tuesday nights. I teach classes, right? And I can't tell you how long it takes somebody to do that right. So I was definitely impressed.
Yeah, there you go. You're just lucky I didn't put you in a suplex. But anyways,
absolutely. And the fact that Cliff couldn't lift me off my feet, but that's
well, dude, I was scared as fuck. I thought Cliff was gonna put me through a table, bro. But yeah, man, it was a good time meeting you guys, going to this con. So I gotta ask before we wrap up the show, guys, are you going back next year? Are we doing this again?
I know Justin and I are talking, even doing it more frequently. So
yeah, we're gonna be getting together in March, bro. Please. But before we even end this, before you're trying to end this, we have to show off the original art, the Grail piece.
Oh yes,
Grail piece available.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, so again, I'm still very new to this, right? So I came across this book that I think is extremely rare, and I had.
It's a good thing your daughter's not here, by the way.
No, she's not. She almost saw it a couple times.
I like the contrast with the dolls in the back.
Yeah, that's my daughter. She doesn't want to open those. She likes to open things, but she wants those are all the Christmas.
Now let's see what Dad collects.
I got $10 saying that his daughter's actually the Batman collector and he's the doll collector. But
no, she's the Spider-Gwen. She's got a dope Spider-Gwen collection. All right, so I saw this book. It was near a washroom, so I'm like, that's rare, finding a comic book near a washroom. So I picked it up and I thought it would be a very cool memory to have everybody do like a remark on, which was once called Cloak and Dagger. Now we call it quite a few things. So
yeah.
This is a one of one.
That's the red band version.
Yeah.
This is the red band. Unfortunately, Zach did not get to do it, and I got to get Wesley to do it too. But Zach and Wesley need to be on this. So This eventually will be for sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be. I'm thinking $100,000.
The longer you look at it, the more you see it. So
bring it closer. Bring it closer. I want to see what's going on there.
Okay, so we have cock and dick.
Yeah. Keep going.
Okay, we got some dumper action.
Fuck it right in the dumper. Yeah. Okay.
We got bum.
This is like those Nolan movies. You'll notice something new every time you watch it.
Yeah.
We do also have on the back. So this is
Easter eggs.
Extra unique is that on the back it also
it's a wraparound.
Yes, reach for my balls. So this will be for sale one day once we get a couple more on here. And then we're gonna do our own con with all the money we make from the sale of this book.
I think every year we should grab a book and just remark the fuck out of it.
So when I said this idea, I was getting chirped by Mr. Painted Pants, and now let's do this moving forward.
But Greg was like, "Hey guys, I just want you to sign this. I want this to be a memory." And then I'm like, "Give me that."
Exactly. So this is
guy, you know what? I don't care, man. It's all about the memories, and whoever was here got to enjoy it. But I think we're gonna make that a thing every year. I'm going back. I am gonna go back. I was telling Rocksteady and Newbie at one point, I was like, I'm satisfied already. Like at the end of Saturday, I'm like, I'm satisfied. I could never come back to Terrificon and still be happy as long as we're meeting up, right?
Yeah.
Like I think the community, there is a plus side to the community. I know we see a lot of negative stuff every now and then on YouTube, and there's always going to be people who don't see eye to eye. That's fine, but the positive vibes at Terrificon, that was probably the highlight for me. Yes, the con was amazing, but man, I left there with so many memories that I cannot share on here. The jokes that went back and forth, Hyper hearing me sing some profanities. There was a lot going on.
Thank God the windows are closed.
Dude, no, for real. Since we're gonna cap this, like the books are cool, the toys are cool, but like no shit, this is not no fake shit. Just man, you guys are awesome, and it was unbelievable. Like I've had friends, lifelong friends that we've never planned. Like someone from Alberta, someone from Ontario, someone from Texas or Washington or wherever, like, and all coming together like that. That shit was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and one thing though, sorry, go ahead. And like even like just look at it this way for the people that don't know, like shit happened for like some of you guys, right? And anybody is like ready to pick up the fucking phone or ready to just like be like, bro, sleep in my room, or like it's like no joke. It's not like you're scared to take in another person. Like last year I took in Wesley for a night. Like this year, you guys just ended up staying at Mohegan instead of going to the hotel.
People I had checking in on me and made like. It's really special, and it hit me hard. Like, like this community, like actually is a community. People do look out for each other. Like I posted that I'm delayed. Like Justin's keeping in contact with me. Jeff reaches out. Other people like who I've never even met in person. Like I just know from this community in New York are like, hey, let me know if I can help you out at all. And it was just like it was beautiful. It's what it's
dude, I was going to take you in. I would have taken another refugee Canadian in for like a day or two. I told you. I was like, I'll come grab you. Like,
if I needed it, like people would have been there for me.
Yep.
No, for sure.
How did Canadians become refugees?
Well,
so we get deported, right?
I actually looked into this. We're not allowed to claim refugee status. I tried. You're honest to God. You're not. Canadians aren't allowed to claim refugee status to the U.S.
Well,
what oppression are we facing? Well, actually, no. There's several oppressions we're facing, actually.
With Zach around, though, with Zach around, we're just gonna get threatened to be deported at all times. So there's that. But listen, man. Yeah, go ahead.
If there is one thing that I would change, though, I would like. If I'm going next year, I would probably book a day earlier.
I thought you were gonna say you were gonna book your own room at the Mohegan.
I mean that's also under consideration. But yeah, no. Honestly, just because I've heard like no good comics. He mentioned how on his breakdown of how he went the day or 2 days before.
He was there Wednesday.
Yeah, so he was
and Otto were there Wednesday. I came in on Thursday. That's why I told these guys you guys to come in like the day earlier because shit, we were all still hanging out Thursday night, right?
Yeah,
like
me and BC literally drove in. Well, we drove in first for the Keanu sighting. That's why we initially drove in earlier than we were supposed to. But
yeah, but you know what? Again, blessing in disguise, because we got there at the time we got there. But like, I literally did Covrprice, grabbed my shit, threw it in the car, and came to get you. 2 a.m. we hit the road and we went. But I remember, hitting up Justin in the group chat that we're in, and I was like, bro, sell me on why it's better to go the day before. And he's like, well, it's more relaxed. It's more like, and I'm like, you're not selling it for me. Come on, tell me, like, why is it better? But now I see it. I see why it's better, man, because you have more time to vibe with everybody, chill, come in at ease, and just really embrace yourself for the con. Because, dude, I don't know if it's because, I got fucking slapped in the face with reality being there. But, man, those 3 days of walking around, my back was hurting. My legs were hurting. I felt old, bro. Even in my painted pants, it was just not working for me, bro.
You had to paint some shoes on, bro.
Jeez, man. I didn't know what was happening to me. But yeah, we also were on zero sleep, man. I think we slept like what? The whole weekend, maybe 5-6 hours total. Rocksteady, you're on another level.
Me sleeping on the lawn chair was probably the most sleep I got the whole weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, you fell asleep anyway. I don't blame you, bro. You ate half a box of fucking Krispy Kreme at that time.
Actually, I had no Krispy Kreme.
Oh, really?
No, I had none.
Was clutch.
Oh.
And yo, I want to shout out before we wrap it up. I got to shout out Justin. Okay, I came in here thinking Justin would be on edge, right? Because he's got the booth going. He has a lot going. The guy was heaven sent to this group of degenerates, because
he was herding cats all weekend.
Bro, he kept everything in check. I think what really blew my mind was coming back to the room. It was like 3:30 a.m. The guy's out cold, right? He's just out cold. Come back to the room at 3:30 a.m. He wakes up so peacefully and starts moving things around in the room to make sure everybody's okay, and goes right back to bed. And I'm like, who is this guy?
I know.
Who is this guy?
And he was very firm. He kept us in line. Like, no, this is when we're doing dinner. You have to be ready by this time. We're doing this. And like, yeah, we would have been a bunch of lost souls for sure.
Dude, what about when, dude, me, you, BC, and Newbie were in the room? It's like 3:30 when I found out about the flight. Fucking Rocksteady walks in at like 4 or 5, grabs a beer, leaves again. I'm like, what's going on?
That killed me. Yeah, it was like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And Zach's like, hey, I think I still have a couple beers in the room if you want to grab them. I'm like, okay. So we're like being quiet, thinking you're gonna be asleep. You guys are just awake. We just grabbed a beer. We're like, all right, peace, guys.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it was good vibes all around. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna make my way back next year. I hope you guys all make it as well. And I'm definitely gonna listen to Justin next time and get myself part of that room earlier, right? I'm not gonna go down on the Friday morning. I think
you gotta come
the Thursday.
You gotta definitely come earlier. Shit, yeah, you can come on Wednesday. Like if I had people, like that's what it was. And I mean, we're still waiting for one person to pay for the room. Mr. Cow.
Hey, it's taking me 3 to 5 business days to get through to fucking PayPal.
But again, no homo. We all sleep together. It's all cool. It's literally you're just sleeping in the bed for maybe 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
You just need a place to crash.
If we were to come Wednesday or Thursday, like how do we get in? Like, or is it open to like public? Like,
we just stay at the hotel or close by.
No, I'm just saying like you could stay at the hotel.
Oh, okay. I thought you were picking earlier or something.
No. Like Thursday you can go in, but like once people are kind of set up, but it's like you're just kind of there. Like Thursday is also a night to chill. Like I felt, my biggest regret, and I've been going since like 2017, is being at the booth setup. Like normally, like you guys know from like last year and even like the year before, like you could be on the con floor for a few hours and then bounce out and go enjoy lunch, have a beer, or there's times where I've left and gone to the pool at the casino and like drank there with people. I couldn't do that this year. Like I was on the floor from the time it opened to the time it closed. And it was just, I didn't get to see as much as you guys have. Like I can't do as much,
Yeah. No, I saw Stefano saying play slot machines when you get there a day earlier. Hey, man, it works for Justin. That's all I'm going to say. He did well. But yeah, man, there's so much to do. And I felt like it was such a short time. So much happened. We had to stay up that late in order to really embrace the entire weekend. If you slept through anything, you missed out. Things could happen at 3 a.m. It could happen at 5 a.m. It's just a good vibe. So shout out to Terrificon. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to everybody who was there. And man, who knows?
So
Maybe
that's why
next.
it took you an hour to get ready before we had to leave the night. You had to paint your pants on. That's what
I did.
You're gonna walk in an hour. We're like, what is he doing?
I did.
You had to paint your pants on. Now
It's just awkward when he asks somebody to fill in the back for him.
Yeah. Yeah, but I couldn't thank Hyper enough for doing that for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was good times, man. And
but next time use a brush.
Yeah,
it didn't take that many strokes, by the way.
Easy.
That's what she said.
But guys, man, I have so much more I want to say. Obviously, we'll keep it at this point and leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed the recap, the Hangover show. Clearly, we needed the 3 days to recover because, man, dude, I'm telling you guys, I was telling you backstage, it took me all week. I was falling asleep at random points. Like, dude, like Tuesday, 2:00, I'm dazing off, man. Like, I didn't know what was going on.
Well, even I stayed that extra day. I stayed Sunday into Monday, so I had the whole room to myself, and I was just doing backflips off of both beds.
Yeah.
He offered me the room.
Yeah. I was like, dude, you could fucking stay. Whatever.
Yeah, you both could have been
backflips.
Yeah, well, I wish I stayed in Connecticut. I'll tell you that much.
Hey,
Actually,
Rock,
no, I took advantage of New York. I don't.
Well, Rock, do you remember when this was all like wrapping up? You're like, just come with us to New York and catch a flight from there.
Yeah. Just roll with us. Come on.
Do you guys actually? You know what? Before I wrap it up, do you guys have anything at your disposal right now that you picked up at the con that like was your favorite pickup? Like, do you have it nearby?
Yeah, I can.
Well, I have one, and I have to blame the guy next to me.
Yeah, you definitely win. You win with this one, that's for sure. But now Rocksteady, I think I know what you're going to be picking up. I'm still shocked you picked up that original art, by the way, for dirt cheap. But let's see what he pulls up.
The OA boys, the OA.
So the first one I got there we go. This is a Scotty Young page from
Sick.
All New X-Men 25. So pretty stoked to have that one. That was a really cool book because it was like an all-star lineup. And then the last day I was humming and hawing all weekend, and I bought the cover
I love
of
this
Modern Life #3.
I love this so much, man.
So this is Gary Fields. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked on this one.
So good, man. That's a good pickup. Congrats, bro. Honestly.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Now, Hyper, I see you.
So, I got this from Arthur's. Is this Sudiam? I never know how to pronounce the last name, but yeah, the guy that does the Marvel Zombies. I bought this print from him with this.
Lower it, bro.
I don't know. The glare is kind of killing it, but yeah, there's a signature somewhere. Yeah, right there.
Nice.
Yeah, and then that. But actually, the big purchase, and I have to blame Rocksteady for this one. It's It's the original art of page 20, issue 4 from Jurassic Park: Lost World. I am a big Jurassic, well, at least for the first 2 movies. So, and then what's cool about this is, hold on, I don't want to fuck it up.
You're gonna do it anyways.
For the amount of money I paid, I really got to be careful with this. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, Popeyes.
Take that acetate off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. That's sick.
Overlays all laminated and.
Yeah, I love that.
Nice.
So yeah, that was a pretty dope purchase. And honestly, I had no intention of buying original art. And then this is why I'll never hunt with Rocksteady ever again at any con.
It's just so once you get an education, like, and people treat it almost like they're sharing their love with you, right? Like the one guy, Bob, I think that's his name. He was just like so wonderful to chat with. You could tell he was passionate about it. Like he had no intention of making money and he didn't want to sell the stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I will say though, I had to consciously stop myself because the more I was looking at these binders, the more I'm like, oh, I could definitely purchase. Like I had to cap it off at just this one because there were some TMNT pages that I was actually eyeing that I'm like, you know what? Maybe next year.
He's gonna spend that coin. But yeah, awesome pickups. And of course, I think the big winner here is none of us on the panel. In fact, it was Chimo who actually won the skateboard that
nice. He's the winner.
Away, man. So
that's sick. We're so happy
that
about
was fucking
that.
awesome.
Yeah, an awesome win right there. Obviously, it was the TMNT cover that you guys put out to the Comic-Con podcast on a skateboard. There was 2 of them available. One was bought, filled with signatures, and I believe that one's going to be auctioned off, right?
No, that's the one that he got. He got the one with all the signatures and all the
Oh
art.
shit, dude,
bro.
that's
Yeah, yeah.
amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah. He didn't get the blank one. I ended up gifting the blank one, another blank one to somebody else who wanted it. So
That's awesome, man. But yeah, man. So congrats, Shimo, man. No, that's a big win. But guys, that was it. Let's go round the horn before we say goodbye to everybody. Let us know what's up and coming next. Greg, Paperweight, do you have anything coming up?
I'm performing. I'm wrestling on Saturday, and for comic shows, I don't have like all my toys and comics are pretty much gone. I'm just building up like a short box that I'll probably try and dump soon, and that's it. Just grabbing some new books with the little one, and that's it, bro.
There you go, man. Justin, I cannot wait to hear this Friday what's coming. Talk to me, baby.
Yeah. So tomorrow night we'll be recording the Comic-Con podcast. Drops Friday morning. iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and all your podcast platforms. Anybody who went to Terrificon, you're more than welcome. Just hit me up in a DM. I'll probably just shoot the StreamYard thing to everybody here as well if you want to come on for a little bit. But yeah, I think it's going to just be Terrificon, and I've literally been reading so many books because I didn't read last week's books, and I'm got to start continuing to read this week's books. So that's all it's going to be. It's Terrificon
Nice.
talk and comic books, and that's what we always talk about.
Rocksteady, talk to me.
Find me at Edmonton Fan Expo. That's in 3 weeks, I believe. Then I'll be at October 1st, Edmonton Pop Culture Show, and then the next Dark Star, December 1st. But those will be the next time I'm set up. I'm probably sure I'll sneak into the Comic-Con podcast before then.
Yeah.
And probably check maybe a Sunday. Maybe I'll rock a Sunday with you coming up.
I hope so, man. It's been a while, bro.
And then Emerald City is March, right?
Emerald City March. Let's get the train rolling on that one.
New York Comic Con. Is that a lock?
I'm there. I'm at Baltimore. My next two shows are Baltimore Comic Con and then New York Comic Con. But I know no one wants. And Baltimore is another great comic show like this is, but it's not all under one roof. That's like obviously the biggest sell and draw that you could say for Terrificon is it's all under one roof. But Baltimore is another great community show. A lot of cool stuff to do. But yeah, Rocksteady and I are doing. We're looking at Emerald City next year.
Nice, man. That's gonna be wicked, bro. It's out west, man, so it's a bit tough. But who knows? Who knows?
Whoa.
Yeah, what do you think Rocksteady had to do?
Yeah, bro. Fly. How about you? This is what you could do. You could fly to Newark. I'll pick you up, and then we'll fly out of Newark to go to Seattle.
Okay, maybe I'll come in and not shower at your house on on a
It's a tradition now.
Toronto people.
Yeah, Hyper, tell me what's up, bro.
You can find me digging through my short boxes to sell some of the books to pay for what I paid during the Terrificon weekend. Other than that, we'll be posting. I mean, I have been posting some stuff bit by bit on my finds at Terrificon on IG. I haven't thought I might be doing a YouTube short like video just to kind of do a summary of what I picked up at Terrificon. I haven't really, decided if I'm actually going to do it or not, but that's just something that I've been juggling in my head. Other than that, that's pretty much it. IG and YouTube.
Catch you at Popeyes. Got it.
Yeah,
What's
man.
that?
Catch you at
Popeyes. How about that?
That Popeyes slapped, bro. It hit. Like, it was good. I'm not gonna lie. It was good. We don't got Popeyes up here in Quebec, so we ended up rating that one. I went a bit heavy. But guys, that's the show. You can catch me.
Pants?
Sorry?
Did you shit your paint pants?
Not my paint pants. Not my paint pants. But I did in my
Listen, he didn't need KFC, he had Popeyes, all right? It's
KFC does that damage.
Yeah.
Not Popeyes. But guys, like I said, that was the show. Of course, you can catch me tomorrow night over on the Covrprice Shakers list. And then, of course, this Sunday, I'm going to be back with the weekly comic wrap-up. And I've got infamous Jeb, who's going to be joining me because Venom War is coming to a close. And it looks like we have an idea as to who just might be the new Venom. So we'll see who's going to be the host. We'll be putting up some of our guesses and we'll go through all the fun stuff, FOC, the market report, etc., all the news. So come catch myself and Jeb this Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Guys, thank you all for hopping on. Thank you all for the amazing fucking weekend, man. It was really, my wife saw me come back home with, the biggest smile. And she knew it wasn't the comics, bro. That's
and your kid finally got his Mario RPG.
that's a whole other ball game. You are the devil for keeping that from him for the longest time. I just want to let you know that. But
so I'm right below Starlin now.
Yeah, Starlin's top of the list for me after this weekend. But thank you guys, and of course I will see you tomorrow night over on Covrprice. Adios.